Hey guys, Matt here. I've got Tom with me from SumthinRS.
Hello.
We're just going to be doing a podcast tonight about the implications and effects of the ability to buy spins from the Squeal of Fortune. We're going to aim at doing a more optimistic kind of view on them because most of the videos and opinions expressed about it kind of were day of release or second day of release, and not the Squeal of Fortune hadn't been in the game. Oh, sorry, the ability to purchase spins hadn't been in the game long enough for people to really get an understanding of how it would affect them as a person on RuneScape. What do you think of that, Tom?
Yeah, I mean, I'm guilty of this myself. I uploaded a video on day of release and I was just kind of raging at them. But now it's sort of been in the game. We've had sort of time to simmer down a bit, and we've realised now that it's not going to have as drastic an effect on the game as we first thought it might. Because realistically, if you think, no one's going to spend like thousands of dollars or pounds a week just on buying Squeal of Fortune spins to max out their account, are they?
Unless they're extremely rich. I guess the one thing that it has done is shown us that jagex do go back on their policies, and to be honest, it hadn't ever happened in the past before. This is the first time they've kind of legitimately betrayed us. Lots of people tried to say that they betrayed us during the 2007 time where they removed free trade in the wilderness, and lots of people they betrayed us, but really that was for the better of the game. This isn't for the better of the players. It's more like for the better of their pockets.
Yeah, whichever way you look at it, it's not really beneficial. Even though the effects might not be so drastic as we thought, it's still not a good thing, whichever way you look at it.
No, not at all.
Just being able to buy items in experience is just inherently bad. I think that goes without saying, really.
Yeah, we shouldn't be able to buy our way up. Even though we probably won't, the ability just shouldn't be there at all.
Exactly. Because it's in the rules of the game, isn't it? I don't know if you've got the actual quote of the rule.
Yeah, I've got the quote of the rule, and the funny thing is that everyone was quoting this on the forums, and they still are now, a couple of days after the update. How many days has it been since it came out? What day did it come out on? It came out before April, so
it was on April the 2nd.
Oh, that's right, because it wasn't April 1st. So it's been out for 4 or 5 days now. And essentially people have been posting this on the forums the entire time. It's a part of RuneScape's Terms of Service or Code of Conduct, or both, not sure. It says, "We don't want players to be able to buy their way to success in RuneScape. If we let players start doing this, it devalues RuneScape for others. We feel your status in real life shouldn't affect your ability to be successful in RuneScape." And lots of people lived by this. They thought, yes, this is correct because jagex has such a strong stance against real-world trading and botting. But then what they've gone and done is, because players are pointing out they completely disregarded this rule when they brought out the ability to purchase spins, because in reality it is real-world trading for an in-game feature. That's not an actual... Sorry, they're real-world trading for real-world items, not a feature. Membership's a feature. And so jagex has gone, shit, we've implemented this thing and it contradicts our rules. So what they've gone and done is they've removed that paragraph from the rules. They no longer have a stance on real-world trading in the RuneScape Code of Conduct.
Yeah, it's completely ridiculous that they actually remove a rule just because they don't want to be seen as breaking it. It's just completely contradictory.
Well, it seems like now, we've always had trust in them and their rules, but now it seems like they only follow their rules if it's convenient to them. If they can make more money by not following it, they're not going to follow it.
Next thing you know, jagex will release their own bot, and that'll be about £100 a month if you want to use that.
Which is completely ridiculous.
No, they're not actually going to do that, although if you think about it, why would they get rid of other bots if it was benefiting them? Well, I'm just thinking in terms of their new sort of stance, where money is number one, because bots were bringing in a lot of money to them because of memberships, right?
Yeah, and that's probably one of the reasons why they've implemented real-world trading or microtransactions, we should call it. The reason they've introduced this microtransaction is because they probably want to counteract the money that they're losing from bots. Like right now, we can look on the high scores because they're members only and go to the last possible rank, and we can tell that there's approximately 750,000 members. And that does give them enough financial, what should I say? Tom and I kind of calculated this. Yeah, it gives them enough revenue to run the game, or to run any company that has less than 10,000 employees. Maybe not that drastic, but the point is, they probably did lose a lot of money from banning the bots in the bot nuke. And players knew that that was the best thing for the game, and it was. But they haven't continued with the second bot nuke to destroy the color bots, and now bots are just back just as strong as ever, but just with using different methods. So at the end of the day, they lost money at the beginning. They probably are gaining about the same money now, because I have seen real-world trading website bots, everyone probably has, with the names that are just keyword mash, TYGHFWZY. Have you ever seen them running around to Dragons or passing around Exchange or anything, Tom?
Yeah, I've also started seeing more gold spammers in the Grand Exchange, and I've just been reporting everyone that I see.
I'll tell you a little secret is that I play with my private chat on, so I can get messages from anyone, but whether or not I choose to add them is another story. And if I'm playing RuneScape, I get 2 or 3 messages from different real-world trading websites saying 10 mil this much. Not going to lie, it actually comes up in my private chat messages, and I just report them for advertising websites. But I'm guessing that they have a bot that's programmed to go through the high scores and advertise to everyone, because I've never purchased gold. I have no idea how they would get my in-game name, and it happened straight after I changed my display name. So they must just go through the high scores, because there's no other way that they would know to PM me. I don't know what level they start advertising towards people, but I'm 138, so perhaps it's only really high levels, or I'm not exactly sure.
Maybe they just add random people around the Grand Exchange or something, and then just PM them and spam the crap out of them.
The funny thing with that is they're never on the same world as you, so that's what makes me think it's through the high scores.
That is entirely possible. Another sort of point that I wanted to bring up is, what was it? Oh yeah, because back to what we were saying before, like Jagex sort of going in this direction of basically selling stuff that ruins the game in a sense. They could possibly start to bring out more shit like this. Like I just said jokingly a few minutes ago that they're just going to start selling their own bots, because that's why they're trying to get rid of other free bots. But I don't think that would realistically happen, but I guess we'll see about that. But yeah, they could bring out more sort of stuff like this. They could just straight up start selling gold. Well, I saw a post, because I've been browsing the recent updates forums since the update on the 2nd, and someone said, well, why didn't you just make the cosmetic and emoticons from the loyalty rewards microtransactions, because that doesn't affect people aiming, or people being competitive, I should say. Like, it doesn't let you get XP. Like, the auras would still be based on how many months you'd had, but the cosmetic things would be purchasable. And that would have been a better idea, but I don't think that they would that would last. I think that they would move on to then something that would advantage you competitively, because or else people wouldn't feel the compulsive need to, purchase these Squeal wheels. I think that it's going to be people that just hate leveling so much that they would rather just pay real life money to, level their skills.
And I think that if things were cosmetic, they wouldn't feel that compulsive need to.
Yeah, well, I think that is what they're sort of aiming for, like the sort of target audience, people who hate leveling and that. But that's really not the right way to go about making more money through microtransactions. If you look at other MMOs, just for instance, let's just say Guild Wars or something like that, that is a free-to-play game essentially, where you have to buy the box and then you don't have to pay any subscription fees. What they do is they make money off microtransactions, but they sell cosmetic stuff and they are doing just fine. So I don't see why the same wouldn't have to work for Jagex as well.
Yeah. Well, in my video that I posted on my channel today as a response to Arbiter Spar's question, was that he was asking people why they play RuneScape, and in a lot of that video I was saying that I'd played a game called MapleStory for a long time as a veteran before RuneScape, or in between RuneScape, like I'd have a month on, month off in between these two games, but at the end of the day, MapleStory just didn't make the cut because their microtransactions started off as cosmetic and emotes and just things that made your character look cool, and like pets and stuff that just had no benefit for the competitive, but then they started introducing double XP coupons and things that upgraded your equips, and it just made it so that if you weren't spending like $50 a week on this game, you weren't competitive. You weren't able to keep up with people. So that's when I said, oh no, I'm not paying for this. I'm just going to go back to RuneScape because they don't have microtransactions and you pay your $10 a month and you can be as good as anyone.
And that's why MapleStory kind of sucks ass.
Yeah, pretty much.
And if Jagex goes down the same route, then RuneScape will start to suck ass as well.
Well, people don't want to play a game where they feel compelled that they're going to have to spend extra money just to stay at the same level as other people. As Jagex's own policy said until a few days ago, your status in real life shouldn't affect your ability to be successful in the game.
So I suppose we should sort of try and delve into the reason why this came into the game in the first place. Is because I think it was Andrew Gower who sold his shares in Jagex to this investment company called Investment Venture, something like that. Yep. Some American-based New York investment company.
And let's just make something perfectly clear. People think that investors are evil people because of their love for money, but in reality, they're just normal people that want to invest money. Like, once I work for 30 years of my life and I'm looking at retiring in the next couple of years, I'm going to want something to put my super in. Just for any cultural differences, super is like money that you put away 10% of your income so that you can retire when you get older and stop working. Is that the same in England, Tom?
Yeah, I suppose it's the same in any country, really. People want to have money for their retirement so they can live the end of their lives to the fullest, I suppose.
Yeah, so the investment company aren't bad guys. They're just looking at maybe they're not gamers. Well, obviously they're not gamers. They're people... Well, hang on. You said that they were investment companies of games, or do they invest in other things also?
They do invest in games, but they also invest in other things. Just for example, I think they invested in TeamViewer, the remote access program.
Oh, yeah. Yep, I use TeamViewer, actually.
Yeah, apparently they invested in that.
They seem to be really big on software and computer-based stuff. I guess they know computers are the future.
Yeah, it's the smart direction to go these days, really.
Especially for long-term investments. But we hope that they're not crushing their investment by trying to squeeze everything out of RuneScape, because we don't want the player base to just be completely... As a player, I don't want the game to be empty. I don't want there to be very little players and very little updates because there's no players to sustain the employees to bring out good content. I do like that RuneScape brings us new content nearly every week.
Yeah, that's a good selling point for RuneScape, is that no other MMO that I can think of has this much regular updates.
Yeah, they seem to only have like an expansion like twice a year or something introducing a new big thing, you know. But RuneScape just brings us new big things all the time. Usually we have at least one big update a month, and we're looking forward to that since the behind the scenes, which is a good thing, to be looking forward to something.
Yeah, and to be able to bring us that kind of content, they need a big development team, and that obviously requires a lot of money. But it's not like they're struggling to get that money in the first place, because you know the amount of members that are on the high scores. Did you say it was about 750,000?
Yeah, about that.
Is say at least half of that would stay subscribed throughout the year. I suppose we could do a quick bit of maths here. So let's call it.
But then again, people are resubscribing or new subscribers are coming, and it's keeping an average of about 750,000. We're not, unless people actually leave permanently because of this Squeal of Fortune.
So going by even the old price of the subscription, that would be about 30-ish million, 30 to 35 million in revenue for just membership.
Yeah.
Obviously, they've got the Jagex store as well. I don't know how many people actually go to that and buy stuff.
I'm sure it's just a bonus for them. It wouldn't really make super amounts of money. But also the advertisements. I'm not sure how much they would make on pay-per-view advertisements.
They must get a couple of hundred, maybe even a few million hits per day just on those adverts.
Well, yeah, if there's 750,000 members and lots of free players, and free players are getting bombarded all the time with the advertisements. I guess the ads change every 10 minutes or so if you're playing on free-to-play. But the other thing is we see about 60 to 100,000 people logged into the game at one time, and we think that that's all that's active. But that's not true, because people are leaving and coming and going as all the time. Like, just because there's 100,000 people on now and 90,000 people on now, that doesn't mean that there's only a player base of 100 people online at once. All those 100,000 people could have logged out, and a new 90,000 people could have logged in the last 10 minutes. Obviously, that's probably not realistic, but it's possible.
Yeah, and the thing is, even members are getting adverts now before you log in. You have to log in to get rid of the adverts. So
yeah, like it used to be in the a couple of years ago, like you'd click yes, I'm a member, log in as a member on the RuneScape homepage, and then you wouldn't get any ads. But now, since they added the ability to change worlds in the game engine rather than on the homepage, they're bombarding members with ads on the homepage and in the in-game engine before we log in. Then when we log in, our adverts are getting taken away.
Yeah, so you've got to question sort of how profitable they are right now. I still think they're pretty profitable even without the Squeal of Fortune stuff. So it's not like they're financially struggling or anything.
Yeah, so that kind of puts some peace at my heart that I don't think that the game's going to go under and we're going to lose good content and players. So hopefully people start to understand that that's not a massive issue, hopefully.
Just on a little sort of side note, have you seen that new trailer that Jagex released yesterday, I think it was?
Yeah, I actually saw that, and my girlfriend saw that as well, and we both thought it was pretty epic.
Yeah, if they were to sort of push more advertising like that and to the general public on just if they put that on YouTube and stuff like that, then I reckon they'd be able to attract a lot of people just through advertising as well, which is what I think this investment company will be looking to do, and will be sort of the reason why they've sort of produced this cinematic trailer.
Hopefully more trailers than more Squeal of Fortune purchases, microtransactions and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I'm sure that it would encourage the kind of player base that we're looking for as well. Like, if you play, say, World of Warcraft because of my lack of knowledge of other MMOs, and you're getting annoyed at it for whatever reason, but you're watching tutorials on it on YouTube anyway. But then you see this epic cinematic trailer, and you can skip the ad in 20 seconds, but it's another minute 30 of the entire ad, and the person's like, wow, this is pretty cool, and they keep watching it even though they can skip the ad. And, you know, I would probably do that, because if it was that, what's the word I'm looking for? If it was that intriguing for the first 20 seconds, I would probably finish watching it. And if that led to that person to trying out RuneScape for the first time, and then to purchasing members and becoming a good community player, that's ultimately what me as a high-level player wants, is I want more high-level players that aren't just obsessed in cheating.
One thing that did sort of bug me about that trailer, though, is it's all very visually impressive, and it was kind of cool to watch. But it didn't really sort of truly represent what RuneScape was about. They posted it on the Facebook saying, we hope this trailer sort of encompasses the members' starting experience in Burthorpe, which is that update that they brought out last month, was it, to the Troll Invasion Zone and Burthorpe?
Troll War Zone. No, it was February, because Tanya had that update when she first logged into RuneScape. It was already there, I mean.
Yes, I don't know if you've done that Burthorpe tutorial, but it was nothing like that trailer, I can tell you that.
Well, another thing that I saw someone point out was the fact that his life flashes before his eyes when his head's about to get decapitated by that massive troll's axe. And in one of the flashbacks, each flashback only lasts for a couple of seconds, and it just shows you different parts of RuneScape. And he's killing necks with a Zarite bow in past tense. So he's obviously pretty good adventurer, and he's about to get decapitated by a troll. And trolls are like level 3. And I just thought that was pretty funny.
That's a really good point, actually. I hadn't noticed that. That's a good point.
Yeah.
So,
but yeah, while it was aesthetically pleasing, like in 5-10 years, I hope that RuneScape does look like that. That would be pretty sweet, to be honest. To have that level of...
If the combat was that good as well.
Well, I heard in a question and answer earlier this year that the combat system is going to be completely reworked. And now, one thing I want to see in the animations, in the animation side of combat, is that it's pretty ordinary now. And ordinary, by that word, I mean it's repetitive. If you have a rapier or a chaotic longsword or a web, every time you hit the monster, it's the same animation. Like if you've got the rapier, it's just a poke, infinitely. All you get is a poke. Or if you whip, all you get is the lash. If there were like multiple animations and each time had like a random chance and it didn't really affect the combat mechanics at all, just the animations. Like if there was 3 ways to stab with a rapier or 4 ways to lash with a whip, I think that that'd just add a new dimension, just like the voiceover chats for the kind of new content, if you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, like it'd make it more immersive.
Yeah, it'd just be more... It'd just be... I have a lack of words at the moment, but it would be very cool.
The current combat system is, in terms of today's technology, is very outdated. It literally is just click and wait and watch some animations. Occasionally do a special attack and switch weapons and that, but other than that,
yeah,
you know.
I guess you could say that the combat mechanics haven't changed since RS2 was released. Like, and the first spec weapon came out, which was a dragon long, and specs were added. It hasn't really changed.
Exactly. So I'm really looking forward to these combat changes that they said they'd implement. I think one thing they said about it was that people who wanted to pay more attention to the combat and sort of put more effort into it would do better than people who just want to sort of click and wait and AFK or whatever. That
would be very cool, wouldn't it? Especially for bossing, I think.
Yeah,
and player versus player, like in the wilderness. Imagine that. Like, you'd only be limited on how good you were rather than luck.
Exactly, and it'd sort of rely on you reacting to a situation not just by switching gear or eating, but by, I don't know, using abilities, for instance. Maybe we'll get abilities? Who knows?
Well, the only thing that's really changed in combat, and it wasn't the mechanic that changed, the mechanic was always there. We've always had prayers that activate in the same amount of time. But we've been given Soul Split, and that did revolutionize the game because of the fact that you can now infinitely heal, and if you've got really fast clicking reflexes, you can actually block all damage from a certain combat style and heal, rather than just having the heal and or having the protection.
Yeah, that's RuneScape's combat system in a nutshell, really.
Well, the high level one anyway, like your ability to soul split flick is probably directly proportional to how good you are at bossing.
I mean, I watched one of RuneShark's videos recently, and I think it was Simon who said that he thinks there should be like a limit on how quickly you can change prayers.
Oh yeah, I recall that actually. I don't think that's the best way to go though. I'm going to disagree with RuneShark on that. I think the ability of Soul Split Flick is very cool for the people that can master it.
I just think that maybe as soon as you activate a prayer, it will drain, rather than waiting a second for it to start draining. If you know what I mean.
Yeah, like how Wook's soloed, or you can't not solo, but I mean how Wook's took on Jad without anything in his inventory or equipped, and with one prayer point, and he kind of just flicked it on and off, and it didn't use any prayer, but he still blocked all of Jad's attacks and killed Jad.
Yeah, exactly. Just stuff like that shouldn't be able to happen, because it just is ridiculous. Yeah, but it's kind of cool at the same time.
Well, that comes on to the point of the updated game mechanics for combat. Like, his ability to react that quickly and that precise is almost robot-like. He has so much skill with it, or practice with it, skill defined by practice, with his clicks, that he didn't miss at all, and he only had the prayers on for a split second, and that was pretty amazing.
Yeah.
I've got some posts up here on my screen that I'm about to read out to you guys, and they're by different Jagex mods in regards to the Squeal of Fortune ability to buy spins. And basically, Mod Timbo says, "You're right, you can't buy an in-game advantage. Still, you can earn spins from doing what you normally do, but if you can't wait to earn them, then you can buy them. As you're not buying any particular item, but a chance to, it's not going to be pay to win." And then this guy says back to Timbo, "The advantage comes with better odds. 20 out of 1,000 is better than 2 out of 1,000. One can be bought and the other is earned. Guess which one is bought? Oh yeah, the unfair advantage one. It's not going to be pay to win, but you already made the wheel a guarantee win. So are you not paying for a win? I thought you guys said that the item being won is irrelevant, you're still winning." And Mod Timbo says a whole lot of stuff that's morally and logically flawed throughout the forums, and he seems to be the scapegoat for Jagex, so don't go hating on him as a person. He's most likely just been the one that's been told to go and tell everyone all this stuff, and he pretty much just says a whole heap of stupid stuff regarding the what gambling is and isn't, and he just sounds like a complete idiot saying it, because he tries to justify it as not gambling because you can win something every time, or you do win something, even if that is 50 GP or a cabbage or an adamant hatchet kind of thing. And I saw a lot of angry people post on the forums regarding Mod Timbo's response, or that response, because last year Jagex took away the dice pouch, the ability to roll dice, because dicing was gambling and they didn't want that to be in the game, and they said kind of just take it to the duel arena if you really want to gamble. And I agree with Jagex on that. I don't think that gambling should be a big part of this game like it was at every Grand Exchange World. There were dices. But, you know, can we justify getting the dice bag back if the dice host give someone an adamant hatchet every time they lose?
Yeah, because technically they're winning.
Yeah, according to
logic.
Yeah, by Jag logic, and that username is available for anyone that wants to take it, by the way. Jag logic, or Jag logic X is also available. I checked these out, but I didn't really want to take them.
Yeah.
But to be honest, their logic is completely flawed, as I just explained, and that's just a bit annoying that they're being told to say flawed logic.
Yeah, so just don't shoot the messenger on that, is what we're saying.
Yeah, it's not his fault as such. He's just been the one that's been told, like, pushed out into the crowd and said, you talk to them.
Yeah.
Here's what you're allowed to say. If you don't say that and you say something else, you will probably lose your job. At the end of the day, if you're at work, you've got to do what your boss says.
Yeah, it's a tough world. And it's tough for JMods as well. So just give them a bit of a break, okay?
And the other funny thing, ModMattK says, ModMattK I think is one of the lead developers. I've heard a lot about him being a douche lately, but we'll not get into that. We'll go based on the facts of what he said in this post. ModMattK says, we'll see if we can get some more details as to why this isn't gambling over the next few days. But essentially, Timbo is right. As you buy a spin and every spin wins something, it isn't gambling. So, you know, they don't even have their facts if the Jagex mods have to say they're going to look into it and see if they can find more details as to why it's not gambling. And then this guy is amazing. I'm going to put the quick find link to this forum post and this guy's in-game name in our description, because he's very intelligent and his first language isn't even English, and he's basically battling all the JMods on this. But he takes it from a perspective on international law as well, and essentially it's not. He's trying to say that just because they say something doesn't make it true. He's got different sentences and stuff from the Dutch law, because I'm guessing he's from Finland, and he's also got the United States. Section 5262 defines a bet as the staking or risking of property in order to win something of value based on the outcome of a contest of others, a sporting event, or a game subject to chance. And the Dutch one says stuff like, hang on, let me just find it. I can't find it, guys, but yeah, basically Jagex has got it completely wrong on an international law basis.
Yeah, but like we said, we'll leave a quick link to the thread.
It's definitely
basically explains all of it.
Yeah.
So yeah, is there anything else we wanted to talk about?
I think that pretty much covers a lot of the different topics, doesn't it?
Yeah, we've gone over like the laws behind gambling, the previous history of the investment company. In fact, there was one thing I forgot to mention about their history, just really quickly. So apparently they bought out a company called Six Waves. If you guys don't know who they are, they basically make games like Farmville. Well, they don't make Farmville, but games like that, which are social games or mobile games for Facebook and that kind of thing. But after this investment company took them over, apparently there was a lot of layoffs in order to maximize profits, so to speak. So it does sort of make you wonder, could the same happen for Jagex?
I wonder if Jagex have massive layoffs, if they're going to tell the community, or they're just going to kind of hide it under the mat.
I think they would sort of try and announce it in a way, but then they'll say, oh, don't worry guys, it's not going to affect the game whatsoever, even though we've got like 100 less developers.
Oh yeah, I guess that sounds that sounds like something that they would say, to be honest. That,
it'd be a very sort of PR response.
It's not going to affect anything, guys. We're still going to produce the same weekly updates with the same quality. And then the next week's going to be, oh yeah guys, we're introducing this new tree, and it's just going to sit on here if anyone wants to kind of cut it for wood.
No, you can't even cut it. You could just look at it. It's for aesthetics.
Oh yeah, an aesthetic.
Admire the tree.
Yeah, sweet. Week's update's got a new tree at Edgeville or something.
Actually, I've just thought of something. You know, because this month is kind of a shit month for updates, and last month wasn't that great either, in terms of the amount of updates. And there hasn't been another quest since February.
Yeah, the Tokar Cape.
Now, why do you think that is?
I don't think there's been a lack of quests. The updates... Well, let's flash back to what we had last month. We had the Mauritania task set, which was no new content, just obviously a task set and a reward that would take a bit of developing. What other updates did we have last month, Tom?
Ooh, we could quickly try and pull up the article, but it might take me a few minutes.
Alright, I'll just quickly read out the Dutch law that I've found. It's been translated by The Slayer, which I'm guessing is a RuneScape name. According to Dutch law, it is forbidden to provide an opportunity to win a prize if the winner is chosen by any form of chance on which the participant has no or little control, unless a license has been given by either the local government for prizes under 4,500 euros or the Minister of Justice when larger prizes can be won. And basically that means that Montimbo is a jackass, because he's saying because of the prizes and the guaranteed win, it's not gambling. But this guy, oh sorry, not this guy, the Dutch law is saying that it's gambling because it is any form of chance and the participant has little or no control over the outcome. So it fits into Dutch gambling, the definition of gambling due to Dutch law. And basically he goes on to say that he basically says, I can't find the exact paragraph, but if Jagex thinks that it's fine because they're just in the UK and they only have to abide by UK law, they're wrong, because they have to conduct business worldwide because they're a .com website. Conducting business with worldwide people, like people all over the world, because in Australia they're conducting business and they have to pay international tax law. They have to abide by international tax law, and they do pay some tax to the Australian government because of the fact that my credit card is being used to conduct business. So at the end of the day, they do have to abide by all of the laws worldwide, and one of those is the gambling laws of other countries, yeah.
Yeah. I've just found the... Sorry, go on.
I was going to say they can't just send over meth if I put in my credit card. They're going to get done for trying to smuggle drugs into Australia. So it's the same kind of scenario. Yeah, you brought up the behind-the-scenes article, Tom?
Yeah, so in March there was Clan Fealty, which was kind of a fail. Bonus XP weekends... You know, that doesn't really take much effort to implement that. You just flick a switch, change numbers, that's it. But then that was the month of the armor reworks as well. Oh
yeah, so we did have a lot of graphical updates in March, and we did have the Mauritania tasks. And planned for this month, we had I did the video on it, so I should really know. We have the dungeoneering fixes, which are useful, but hopefully they won't take too much developing time. We have the new RuneSpan minigame, so you know, I can't really complain about that. I mean, we'll have to wait until it comes out to see how fun or how much effort they actually put into it, but more XP is always good, so...
Yeah, come to think of it, the RuneSpan could be a huge update, you know.
They say that it's going to be good for training runecrafting 1 to 99. So if it's the new runecrafting main method of training, I hope that it's pretty good. Reading the behind the scenes for that month, and I remember on my video talking about this, they made it sound like familiarization. Have you ever played familiarization before, Tom?
I haven't, actually.
I've played it once just because I wanted the music track and I wanted some charms. But
Alright.
then I got 99 summoning shortly after, so I didn't really ever do it again. But the one time that I did play, basically you walk around in the spirit realm as a random familiar that you can summon. So, like, I was a beaver. No jokes, please, guys. I don't want to hear any beaver jokes. But yeah, so you're a random familiar. You could even be a steel titan or a yak or something, and you have to go around and collect these spirit shards that are just lying around on the floor in this pretty big map. Like it's fairly big. It takes you a while to collect all the shards, like 10-15 minutes at least, and you have to avoid familiars that are aggressive towards your familiar. Like, if you're a beaver, then maybe a snake is aggressive to you or something. So you have to avoid all the spirit cobras. But the idea of it is that you, as time goes on, more and more familiars are after you, so you just kind of have to avoid them, or your time in the spirit realm is reduced. And you can collect less shards, which are a lesser time with triple charm drops. So basically, I read the RuneSpan update to be something like you just walk around clicking on things because you extract essence or runes from like living things. Did you read that, Tom?
Yeah, I got this similar sort of impression from it. Yeah, it sounds like you'll do random sort of tasks for, well, I don't exactly know what there's going to be, but it did say that you're going to help out wizards within the RuneSpan.
Oh, yes.
So it sounds like there'll be sort of little mini quests so that you have to do within the RuneSpan for these people. So I don't know. There could be stuff other than that as well. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see.
But yeah, the XP should be good. Hopefully they don't nerf it like they did for Flash Powder Factory. That was just ridiculous.
Yeah, I didn't even get a chance to do that before they nerfed it.
No, me either.
I mean, I had the levels for it. I just didn't have the time, I don't think.
You know, I couldn't actually get on to try it before they nerfed it because I'd just moved out of home and I was trying to hook up internet for my unit, and it took a month and a half. So I didn't actually play RuneScape for December at all, pretty much. But
Wow,
that's alright.
that's a long time.
It felt like an eternity, and I am not lying.
A day without RuneScape is an eternity for me, but no, seriously.
It
though.
is.
Yeah, I mean this month could be quite good for updates, even though there aren't a lot.
But what other stuff was there other than RuneSpan and the dungeoneering stuff?
I think that was it, really. There really wasn't a lot.
I'll see if I can bring up the behind the scenes real quick.
It was just dungeoneering, Easter events, Fremnik sagas, and the RuneSpan.
Oh yes, Fremnik sagas, that's right. Have you actually done the first Fremnik saga?
I have not.
Oh, we forgot about the biggest thing for this month.
What's that?
The ability to buy extra spins.
Oh yeah, let's talk about that for an hour, see what people think.
Oh yeah, sounds like a plan. Have you done the Easter event yet?
No, and I don't plan to. I just can't be bothered, you know.
Really?
The idea of finding eggs around RuneScape, trying to cooperate with random people, just does not sound fun to me at all.
At least they don't have to talk to you. From what I've seen in the chat box is that it just tells you blah 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 found an egg at blah blah blah. But
yeah, from the announcements in game.
I was planning on doing it on Easter Sunday with a couple of friends, possibly.
Yeah.
I don't want to. Yeah, we should wrap it up.
Yeah, because it's been going on for about a good 50 minutes or so.
Yeah.
So yeah, let us know what you think in the comments about this Squeal of Fortune thing and what you think the future could entail for us in the future of RuneScape.
And we hope that you guys enjoyed listening to us ramble for a while.
I think we might have repeated a lot of things, but you know, it's a good thing to discuss this because obviously it affects the game.
It's subliminal messaging reinforcement. We're just making sure that you guys know.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So anyway, we'll see you in our next videos. Anything else you want to add?
I'll be linking your SumthinRS channel on the screen and in the description as well. So go check Tom's channel out.
Subscribe to me!
Alright. See you guys. Thanks for listening.
Hey Matt, one more thing.
Oh, okay.
Nice beaver.